Okay, first of all, we need to take the top panels off. So with the T10 Torx, we just unscrew, take all the screws out the top. Okay, so that's all the screws out. Now, really important on the master module, the monitor faders are actually attached to the top panel. So don't take the top panel off before taking these screws out, otherwise you'll be pulling the faders and breaking them at the same time. And depending on the age of the console, there could either be a posi screws in there, or they could have T10 Torxes in them. So this one has got. Now for this instance, we're also going to take the P&G fade, the main moving faders off this panel, so we can remove the panel completely from the module. So we'll take the fader caps off. And again, these are Torx screws. The faders won't fall down into the chassis because they're actually being held. There's a PCB below it. So first off now, this panel will come off. Just lift it straight up. And you see what I mean by the monitor faders. They'll get pulled off if you don't take the screws out of them. So we just remove all the panels now. Oops. So now we need to release the modules from the actual chassis, and to do that, there's screws that run down the bottom side of the panels. They're actually in under there, not these ones, they're actually in there. So there's one there, all along the bottom. So we take those out, and again all the way across the top, here, and here, there. Screws. So swap over to and we'll take all these screws out. Right, so now we can remove, we're able to remove the panels, the modules themselves. So the first one here we can lift up from the far end, and there's two cables at the bottom on the underside. which we need to detach. You just squeeze the pins, the connector together to detach, and unplug the wings, and the cable just pulls out like so. To one side. I'm going to leave that one for the moment. Moved over to this input module again. This has got exactly the same connectors on the bottom. We got 3 times as many. Tip the module up to the side like that. It gives you plenty of access. Again, just squeeze, pull. Try to leave them in the same positions that you took them out from, so that'll make reassembly a lot easier. That one just drops out then. The next panel has even less cables on it, so you can just tip that up again. There's always plenty of room to tip them up. Again, you've got one ribbon cable that's just pull the wings apart, power cable, 2 power cables, and then the reset cable, which you just pull off. For this instance, I'm going to actually leave this module in here. It has many cables attached to the rear of it. As you'll see if I lift this up, it's much easier, and we can work around that in this console. So we'll just leave that in for the present time. To remove the 313 panels, again, just lift it up from the top side, and it will give you access to the ribbon cable. And then you have all the fader cables that you need to unplug. So first of all, we do the ribbon cable, pull the wings apart, that comes off. The fader cables, if we just grab the connector, one finger and a thumb either side of it, just wiggle it from side to side and they come off. Or put your fingers back on the front, again pull it off. Don't pull by the cables, because you'll end up ripping the small cables, either pulling them out of the connector or breaking them. So always do it with the holding onto the plastic shell of the connector. So that's free to take out. And then the 323 is exactly the same. You lift it up slightly. Again, you've got a ribbon cable. And this is a different size from this one, so you can't misplug them when you put them back in again. You can leave that one connected. You've got USB connectors for the trackballs, which are siliconed in. So when we've taken that off, make sure you remove the silicone, because we're going to put new silicone on. And then we've got one power connector. And that module then comes away and is free. So make sure we remove the silicone from here, because we're going to put new stuff on. Right, so we have all the modules out now. So we're going to replace. We're going to take out the necessary PCBs that we don't require and cables that we don't require.